Hello, welcome to the mrparrot Jewellery course. This is part 3. I hope everyone is safe out there. Today we will be creating this Pave Ring together. And to start designing a ring, as always, we need a ring rail, which is right here. Just click it once. When the box pops, you can choose your ring size. I'll go with Swiss 14 now. Click this green arrow and you have your ring rail. Now, we will design this ring here on the surface and then we'll wrap it around the ring rail. For this, we need to measure the length of this ring rail. So after clicking it and selecting it, you'll need to go to measure up here and press length. And then check this command line up here which says length 54 millimeters. We need the same exact measurement in a single line. So we'll go to curve, click single line and click anywhere empty on the screen. Now as you can see, when I move my mouse left or right, up or down, the curve is going shorter or longer, but I want this to be exactly 54 millimeters. So I'll type 54 and hit enter on my keyboard, which makes this curve 54 millimeters. And to put it straight on the canvas, I'll press and hold shift and left click with my mouse. Okay, let's measure them again just to make sure. This one, measure length, it says 54 millimeters, and then this single line, length 54 millimeters. When we wrap this around the ring rail, whatever design or whatever thing you have in the middle, it will be wrapped up there. And whatever design or band you have here on the ends, they will meet down in the bottom. This is the thing we need to keep in mind. Now, I'm pressing Ctrl Z on my keyboard to go back. And then I want this ring on top to be 2 centimeters, like so. When you check in your side view, the ring from this end to this end, I want it to be 2 centimeters. To do that, we will need to get a curve, a single line, and press here on the mid. Okay, now we have the curve. I'll go into looking down to see things better. Now it's working one way, up or down, but I want it to be two-sided. So I'll click both sides. Now the curve works both sides. And if you type 20 for 20 millimeters, as in 2 centimeters, it gave us 2 centimeters on top and 2 centimeters under. But we want it to be 2 centimeters in total. So you can either type 10 or you can type 20/2 and hit enter. Now this curve is 2 centimeters. Press and hold shift, left click. You can measure it to make sure. Measure length 20 millimeters. Okay. Now for the bend, I guess 3 millimeters will be fine. Let's get another curve. Click here on the end. Okay, it's working one ways. What do we do? Both sides. 3/2. Or you can type 1.5. Let's try that one as well. Single line here. Both sides. 1.5. Enter. Press and hold shift and left click. If you measure them, this is 3 millimeters. This is also 3 millimeters. Okay, now I want to combine this end with this one, but going in an arc like so. So you can go to curve and use this command for arc direction. And it says up here, if you check your command line, the commands always will tell you what to do next. It says start of arc, starts here, end of arc, ends there, and now direction. See, I want something like this. No big deal. Just anything you feel comfortable. Now we will mirror this curve to this side and then to bottom, and then we'll join the curves. Click this, press mirror, and now as you can see up there, it's asking for a mirror plane, which is this curve first. So you can click on this end and then the other end to mirror this curve to the other side. And to mirror them all together, you will need to choose them both and mirror, but this time we'll use this center line. So like this. Okay, we have the basic shape. This one we don't need it anymore, but now you need to join these open curves and create a closed one. So press and hold shift, choose this and join. While joining, be careful, we need a closed curve, otherwise when we extrude it we will not get a closed poly surface. Okay, now let's extrude. Choose the curve, go to solid, extrude. I want this to be extruded upwards, so when we wrap it around the ring rail we will not lose the size of the ring. So I want it to be both sides no, just upwards, and solid yes to have a solid, and 1.2 millimeters, which is 120 microns. Okay, now to carve the inside of this piece before wrapping around, we will need some curves. We'll need to duplicate some edges. First I will go and change my color to metal 04 so we can see things better, and then I'll go to curve, and on the second page there's this duplicate edge which duplicates any edges that you click, like so. Let me hide this. So we duplicated those edges. Now I want to join these like this. Now instead of 4 I have 2 different curves, and now we'll offset these on the surface inside. Choose the curve and then go to curve, first page, offset curve on surface. Now it says select base surface, which is this one, our base surface, and I want to offset this inside 0.6, which is 0.6 obviously, and we'll do the same for the other one. Okay, we don't need these outside curves anymore, I just deleted them, and we will need to close this curve with another one here. So let's go to curve, get a single line, and I'll combine this mid, which is right in the middle of this arc here, this mid, with this one, and do the same to the other side. Okay, just to make things clear, I'll right click on metal 01 to select all the greens and hide it. Now if you go to looking down, we have what we need, but we need the inside part, so we need to get rid of the outsides. So I'll choose everything and then go to trim right here and click once on whatever you want to trim. Okay, as always we need to join these curves together, so swipe and then join. You need to see this closed curve up there. Always check for the closed curve. Let's show the poly surface back. Okay, now we extruded this piece 1.2 and I want to carve half of it. What do? We'll go and select this curve one, go solid, extrude, and we'll extrude this 0.6, which is half of 1.2, but I want this to be both sided, 0.6. Why? Because sometimes if you don't have a piece going up there and it's just like so, it doesn't do the difference, you can't carve it. Sometimes it has a problem like that, but like this you never have a problem. So let's go to solid and difference. It says select surfaces or poly surfaces to subtract from, which is this one, and then hit enter or right click on your mouse, and the surfaces that will subtract with, it's this one, right click again. I'll do this once again. Whatever you want to keep on your screen after the difference is done, click it first. So I want to keep this whole big piece, and then click difference and then choose the cutter in the middle and right click. Okay, now we can wrap this ring around this curve so it actually turns into a ring. We need 3 things. The first thing we need is the poly surface, of course. The second is this first baseline, and the third is the ring rail. you will feel more comfortable doing it on for screen view, because we will need to choose this polysurface first, and then go to transform, and in second page flow along curve, this one here. And when you click it, it says that we need to choose a base curve, which is the curve in between, which we can't see now, but if you click it, the command will change into target curve. And then click the ring rail. It's wrapped. Sometimes it may wrap in a weird way. And if you happen to have it, let me show it to you. If you choose this, flow along curve, and then click this base curve on the left side, but then if you click the target curve on the right side, it's wrapping inverted. And if you have a problem like that, keep in mind, always click on the left or always click on the right side. Choose this one, go flow along curve, left side of the base ring, left side of the target ring. Okay, we've come away. Let's save it just in case. So I'll press this plus button and open a folder called Pave Ring. Okay, now choose everything, or you can press Ctrl A on your keyboard and use this arrow to save your project. I don't need this anymore, I can delete it. I already have it in my project. If I ever need it again, I can bring it back. And now we will start setting stones. Let's maximize the perspective screen. Okay, we need curves to set stones on them. And I need the curve on my surface. I will change my color to blue, and I'll go to curve. On the second page, oh no, on the first page, I'm sorry, there's this extract ISO curve. When you click it, check the command line, it will always tell you what to do. Select surface for ISO curve extraction. This is the surface I want to extract. Now, my line is horizontal, I want it to be vertical. So I will click this toggle up there, and see, now it's what I want, and go there to click on the end. I just extracted a curve on the surface, which is right in the middle, and we'll use this to set stones on it. We'll go and activate the gem on curve command, which has its own command line here, and then choose this curve and use this triangle to put the curve in the box, and the command already started working. Now, here's the trick. Here where it says F4, F4 is the center spot here in the middle. I don't want these gems looking in the center, because this surface is not straight, it's bumpy, and I want these gems to be aligned on the surface they're laid on. So we'll click this F4 once, twice, and when it says object, I want to click on this surface. So now the gemstones, they're all aligned with the surface. When you see here, they're girdled, it's aligned with the surface. And when I move the stones, the size in between, the spacing is altering, is changing. I don't want it either, I want them to be fixed. So here where it says spacing, just click it until you see fixed. And now if you move the stones, the spacing in between is fixed. Okay, I want 1.3 millimeter stones, gemstones. So I need to change this last box. The sixth box, which says start size, is the size of my gemstones. So I will delete it and type 1.3, enter. Now my gemstones are 1.3 millimeters. And the spacing in between, which is this third box here, says spacing, I want them to be 0.13. You don't want them too tight, you don't want them too wide either. So I guess 0.13 is okay for me. I sometimes go as low as 0.10, 0.11, sometimes as high as 0.15, 0.16, but I think 0.13 is a good looking pave. Now, first, as you can see, when I hover over this dot, it says start position, and this one it says end. I found it easier always to alter with the start first and then with the end later. and then go back to start if I need to arrange anything. If you're happy with the arrangement, right click. I have set how many stones? 12 stones. But we need prongs for this, and the prongs will be found at settings and prong adder. Sometimes it's prong builder on older versions, but you have the same icon. Choose the stones, put them in this gems box here, and the prong started working. Now we need to do some settings here. First, the prong diameter, which is the first box. I will go with 65 millimeters, 0.65 millimeters, and the height I will go with 6 millimeters. Why? Because we carved in 6 millimeters from top, and if you type something higher than 6, the prongs will go higher from the carved space, and while polishing they might damage the prongs. So the maximum will go here, 0.6. Okay, now the tops, I don't like them because they are too straight for me. If you like it, it's okay. If not, you can higher your fillet percentage to make them more rounded. If you lower your percentage, they'll go more flat. I guess something around 90 is okay. And I want my prongs, when they move down, when they go down, I want them going down in a straight line, not in a bumpy way. So I will change the taper, which is 13%. You can change it like so, or if you type in 0, they're just 90 degrees straight. Also, I'm not happy with the nudge. The prongs are too far away from each other, so it's this sixth box, which is not nudge. I want them somewhere around 45 to 50. So they're now closer to each other. If you don't like it, you can always go more together or more wider, but I guess 45 will be okay for me. And when you're happy with your settings, just right click. Now we'll keep doing this until we fill half of the ring. Let's choose this curve here and then go to curve and offset curve on surface. It says select base surface. This is my base surface. And if you want to change these arrows, instead of going to the left, if you want them to go to your right, you can click flip up there. It's flipping the arrows. And now I will type in 1.4 because my stones are 1.3 and I want a 0.1 millimeter of gap in between. 1.4, enter. I got a curve. And I'll go to gems and gem on curve, and I'll put this curve in this box so the command starts working. Now there's a bug in the program which I'll show you now. Let's go as always, F4. I want it to be object, and my object will be this one. Now here it says fixed, which is what I want actually, but when you move your stones, you can see that the spacing in between is not fixed. If you check up here, the spacing method, it says spacing, but I want it fixed. So if you see this one fixed, just redo it. Redo fixed again, and now the spacing is fixed. The spacing in between, we typed 0.13, and the sizes 1.3, enter. Okay, now I will align this start position, the first stone, with this last prong. It's not the last, it's the one before the last. Okay, and since it's mirrored, when you move the end position, it will go to the last prong as well. Well, the one before last. You get the idea. Right click. How do we set the prongs as well? Setting, prong adder or prong builder. Choose the stones, put them in the box. We already did the settings, so they're saved until we turn off matrix and start again. Right click. Okay, let's keep going. One more. But this time, when I offset this curve on the surface, instead of having here number 1, I will type number 10. and when I right click, it already offsetted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 curves. It doesn't do 10 because it doesn't have space. And then we'll go to gems, gem on curve, and choose this curve, put it in a box as always. Let's do the same rituals. F4, object, click on your surface, fixed. It says fixed, but it's not. Fixed again. The spacing in between gemstones 13 and the size is 1.3. Now align this start with this one and align the end with this one. Now, before right clicking, I didn't right click yet. If you go up to the command line, you have this show prongs which says no. If you click it once, you have your prongs shown, and if you right click, you set your stones and your prongs together. Okay, I'll keep going down and doing the same thing. Fixed, refixed, point 13, 1.3, and I will move this here, move this there. Okay, show prongs, yes. Right click, one more, choose the curve, put it in the box. The F4 I want it to be object, and the fixed I'll redo it, refixed, point 13, 1.3 for the stones. Move this start there, move this end there. Okay, show prongs, right click, one more. You get the idea. The command starts working. Change this into object, click on your surface, fixed, spacing, size gems, fixed again. The size in between 0.13, the gemstone size 1.3, the start goes there, the end goes there, and show prongs, yes. One more time, F4, object, spacing fixed, size in between 13, gemstones 1.3, show prongs, yes. One more time, oops, object, fixed, 0.13, 1.3, show prongs, yes. One more. And one last here. Okay, now I actually don't like having these type of things where the prong goes inside the surface, so when it happens I usually use less stones, or what's better, I go back with Ctrl Z, or if I saved it, and I change the design a little bit. So I would have changed this curve out there, but for now we'll not do it. And I'll just add some prongs here when it's blank. So I'll go to setting and prong on surface, this command. Okay, let's open this prong header as well to do the settings. So the first one says prong diameter, which we wrote 0.65, and I'll write the same here, 0.65. The second box here is the drop, which is, when you check there, the surface is here, but the prong is under the surface for 0.2 millimeters. So I will type, it's this box here. So we'll type 0.2. As the height, we said we will not go over 6 millimeters, 0.6 millimeters, which is this one, 0.6 millimeters. The fillet, we did 90%, so I'll do the same. And the taper, I want the prongs going straight down. So 0, enter. Now, it's asking for a surface, which is the ring, the poly surface. Just put it in the box and it starts working. You might have some problems with snapping around like this, where it says end meet. You can just turn off your snaps for a while, and now it's not touching anything. So you can set the prongs by left clicking anywhere you want. Okay, I just did the left half because I want to mirror these to the other side. I chose the 4 prongs, hit mirror, and you can use the axes up there. You can just click them like y-axis, it's mirrored to the other side, and if you want to mirror them to this side, I just press Ctrl Z to get rid of those. So I'll press mirror and use the x-axis to mirror them to the right side of the ring. Okay, the half is done. Now I want to mirror these stones and their prongs to the right side of the ring. I want to choose everything, I mean the gemstones and the prongs, so I will go to gem 03, right click with my mouse, and go to heads, right click with my mouse. They're chosen, but I don't want to mirror this middle line and make it a duplicate, so I will press Ctrl on my keyboard and click them to unchoose them, unselect them, and then I will mirror with the y-axis. This is pretty much the ring. Now let's go with rendering. I'll choose it and put it, save it in my second folder. Okay, now I want the prongs and the surface under the prongs white gold or platinum, and I want my ring to be yellow. So while rendering, before rendering, I need to extract this surface. So let me hide the gem 03 and the heads. It's my current layer. If you get this error, it means that you're working with your purple layer now, so you need to move this to metal 01 or anything else, and then you can hide your layer. And I'll go to solid, and here it says extract surface. It has to be copying no, and when you click on your surface and right click, it basically extracts your surface. You don't have a surface there anymore. Just going back, and I will change the color of this one to purple, like by clicking this arrow and bringing back everything. Now on my screen I have greens as the poly surface, I have purples as the heads and the surface, and I have blues as in gem 03. Let's go to render and the first command V-Ray styles. Okay, this will pop up. Now let's choose metal 01 discriminant. Let's go rendered so we can see what we're doing. I'm right clicking metal 01 to choose all the greens, and I'll go to platinum and use this arrow to apply the material to greens, and then I'll choose the heads, which is the purple, and I will go yellow. Oh, we have a problem. I didn't want it like this. I wanted the ring to be yellow and the prongs white. So let's do it again. Choose the ring, go to platinum. I went to platinum again. I guess I'm just too tired for this now. Okay, now it's yellow as I wanted, yellow gold, and the heads, I want them platinum. Yeah, much better. And the gemstones, let's choose some diamonds. Let's go to diamonds. Diamonds. Apply the material to your diamonds. Okay, we go presentation, we'll see better, I guess. I also want a backplane, a background for this, so I will click this button here to create a ground plane, and I want it to be white. Here, apply the material to the background. Okay, now if you want a higher resolution, you can choose from this drop down menu. This is wide, and if you want to use this picture on your phone, on your WhatsApp or somewhere, you can reverse the numbers. So instead of 1920 times 1080, you can type in 1080 times 1920, which changes the landscape from white to portrait mode. And if you just want to center the ring, you know, and press render, and it will render it for you. Okay, it's rendering. If you want to save it, use the save button there. Save it to your desktop. Now, thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please ask them down in the comments so everyone can see them. And hopefully see you in the next video. Stay safe.